I made a 1.5 beat tower defense game in 2 weeks. Here's what I've learned. Firstly, making a tower defense game is difficult. There's a lot of backend going to just being able to place a turret on a grid, spawning some enemies, and changing our money. Now you could say, oh, making a TD game is hard just because you're dumb, and well, you wouldn't really be wrong, but still making TD games is hard. Point number 2. Using a third color for UI on 1-bit games makes the UI always visible. That might make games that use this thread 1.5 bit though. So here's what I mean. The first 1-bit game that I made had UI in it. However, I was using the same color for the UI in some other parts of the game. That made it literally impossible to see the UI sometimes. So, on this gem, I tried using a gray color for some UI stuff, and now you can actually see the UI regardless of anything really. Point number 3. Balancing games is also hard. Even though I spent several hours working on the balance of the game, the difficulty curve is very messed up, with a super slow start, a big spike followed by a fast fall, which is something that I wanted, and at the end an insanely fast difficulty spike. So I definitely should spend more time on balancing my games next time if I can. Point number 4. FMod is a very nice tool. On our game we have these thingies on the middle that represent your abilities and you can lose them. Losing them basically makes the music more intense, which is pretty cool. To demonstrate it, I'll show you a clip of how the music sounds like if you're on the maximum danger level and what it sounds like if you're at the lowest danger level. Pretty cool, right? Another cool thing about FMod is that it allows us to make it so that, say, only two of the same sound effect can be played at the same time. This is really useful, for example, when there are a lot of turrets on the field shooting every 2 seconds. Point number 5. With that being said, FMod is also kind of bad to work with, not gonna lie. Again, let me explain. Even though my musician John, say hi John,
Hello.
already worked with FMod, we still had a lot of problems, mostly on WebGL. Here's a list of them. If you make the music start the moment the game itself starts, the music just won't work. You have to make it so that the music only starts a couple of seconds after there is some kind of input. Another problem we had was related to extensions. Basically, some adblocks were making the music just not play at all, even after input. The quote-unquote fix we found was telling players to reload the page, as on the second play the problem just disappeared. The weirdest thing was that not all adblocks were blocking the sound, so for a moment we thought Grammarly was a problem. Yeah, the extension that corrects English mistakes. We also had a non-WebGL related issue, which was that on the menu we have a music that is not the same as the gameplay music, so we gotta make the transition somewhere. I decided to make it on the start of the game, but since the music can only start after some time after the player made some kind of input, if the player clicked fast enough from the menu scene to the game scene, the music will not transition from the menu music to the gameplay music. To fix that, I made it so that the transition takes more time if the music was not created yet. So, to sum up, tower defense games are hard to make. I can use another color for UI on 1-bit games and it works like a charm. Balancing games is also hard. FMod is a very nice tool, and lastly, FMod is also kind of bad to work with. Anyways, there's a link to play the game on the description, and there might be a video by John, my musician here. Thanks for watching and see ya!